Hello everyone! Today I'm doing a mini drawing art lesson for you. And I'm going to hold this in my hand because I can't quite get everything in the frame and I want to reference two different things here. So I apologize if it bumps around a little bit. Now I'm choosing this picture because it has better detail to show you guys. That's not the reference picture I used for this, so the proportions are slightly off. So I'll say, okay, the wing is generally in this area down here, but how do I get those proportions? What I do is I'll look at my reference picture and I'll measure it with my pencil, and it's going to be hard for me to do because it's a little bit too long here, but I'll say, okay, his body is that much. Well, what else matches that measurement? Well, his wing from there to there is that much. And it's a little off from my perspective to yours, but you can see this is generally the same length as that. So when I'm drawing on my page here, this should be the general width or length of that one. Now, when I'm going through, I'll say, okay, there's some bumps here on the wings. So I'll draw a general, yeah, okay, there's the wing, there's the bumps, and I'll put that in. But when I start putting in these details and I see these markings here in the wings, what I suggest is that you look at the bones of the object or animal. And when I say by bones, I don't mean actual bones, I mean the line structures. Where do I have a common theme? That I could go in here and I could just start putting lines in and general things here. But if you look really close, some of these correlate to each other. So this little bump here connects to that line there. So that's a fold in the wing. So when I draw mine, where that's going to be is I'm going to draw that line. So instead of just drawing out here and doing random movements, I want it to be cohesive with the rest of it. And a very good example of that is in this upper wing. So what I could do is I could do a basic outline for the wing, and I could say, okay, next I'm doing this guy, and then, okay, he's got a bunch of points here. Let me put those points in. And okay, he's got some feathery looking things here. But if I do that, it's going to look very jumbled. They're not going to blend together very well. So what I've noticed is in this wing, if I start here and I come all the way in, that's a fluid mark. And when I go to the one above it, this is a fluid mark. So by doing this one and by doing this one, I automatically have this triangle in for this one. And when I go to the one below it and I do that fluid line, and then I do this fluid line, and this fluid line, you see how those are automatically coming together with how they should be? Another thing I try to look for is angles. So I'll say, okay, it should be about this wide here. So when I put it down, it should be about that wide. Use pieces for reference. If I say, okay, his head is this big, his body is two heads. His tail, well, his thorax, I think it is two heads. So when I draw it, I do the same thing. His head, his body is two heads. His thorax is two heads. So I hope you enjoyed this little mini drawing lesson. Like and follow if you did, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, bye.